right. This is a packed panel, y'all.
Big facts.
Panel. All right, I want to start it like this, man. First of all, we got some superstars on the stage. Please make some noise one more time. Yeah, man. It's amazing. I do want to start with Smino and L10. You guys have worked a lot together and just are the definition of getting that dream team together. So I wanted to know, how did you guys come about that?
Classic Studios, period. That's the one place in Chicago that is, you know, a creative hub. And we just so happened to fall into that place and, you know, just click. Started out with friendship. We used to just bullshit, you know what I mean, at the studio, waiting for the off hours after all the sessions was done. Oh, let's get in, you know what I mean, at like 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So, and then from there, we kind of use that as our training grounds.
That's amazing. Yeah, you guys have a classic record in Wild Irish Roses, but outside of that, you guys have worked on so many records together. I just want to know, how do you guys keep that going? Like, it's an amazing process here, guys. Smino, how is that process as an artist? How important is that to have a team that's so reliable and it works every time?
Yeah, I really feel like having like the gang with me in general kind of just provides like the safety net of like understanding. You know how you feel crazy when you on to something?
Yeah.
But it's like they crazy with me, so it's just like, you feel me? And to reiterate what he was saying, we used to be at Chris Classic Studios in Chicago, and yeah, shout out to Classic Studios, real shit. We used to be out there in Chicago, bro, like late nights, real late nights, and we started this thing called Zero Fatigue because we could only get the graveyard shift, you feel me? Like, we had to record when it was free, so we was doing what we could to just stay close to the music, close to each other, all that. My brother Monty Booker too, like, you know, big factor in all this too, so absolutely. The gang's everything, you know? Yeah. It's the sound.
Yo, Smee, yo, I got a question for you, man. So, like, shout out to St. Louis for one, man. Your boy from St. Louis too, man. Can we get some St. Louis energy in here? All right. Yo, but you know, all top, like, man, a big thing in St. Louis, man, is leaving your hometown to go and kind of get that grind up somewhere else. That was something that I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I did in my career, you know what I'm saying. I left St. Louis, moved up to New York and did a lot of things. And for you, like, you know, you moved to Chicago and instantly like found a home and a family. I don't know if it was instantly, but like, can you like kind of just give us some insight on what that process was like? How is it? Because some of us need to get out of our hometowns and go and find our musical family in other places. Like, what kind of advice would you give us, or kind of give us some insight into what it was like for you?
I mean, for me, I had badass grades in high school. I ain't gonna stunt. I was always smart, but like, you know, the task at hand never really was like the most important thing. Like their agenda at school, I was like, shit, I'm finna do this. But I knew that young, so I just kind of was kind of rebellious to what my peoples wanted. So long story short, I graduated and I asked my pops, could I go to Columbia College in Chicago? And he was like, hell nah, like 40 bands a month, you feel me? Like, I mean a year tuition, you feel me? And I only went for a year, you know what I'm saying? But being out there, the first, like you said, it was instant. As soon as I touched down, my cousin Drea Smith, she's an artist, and she introduced me to Chris. Took me to a basketball court. I seen a bunch of Asian niggas hooping. I'm like, damn, like where I'm at. And shit, he gave me the keys to his pop's crib with my homie Jeff Jackson. He took me to his pop's crib, and I went in the basement, and my head was bust, bro. I was like, how you got all this equipment down here, like graffiti on the walls at your daddy house, they in here smoking? You feel me? So it was just a different vibe and a different scene, and I instantly just wanted to be there. So I was like, shit, I'll intern, bro, whatever you want. He like heard a couple songs, it was like, nah, you could just record here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's amazing to hear, man.
That's dope. And then I'm sorry, but I want to get your perspective on that, Larussell, too, because you from the Bay Area and you stayed there and you was able to build something. Like, how was it, like, how did your scene happen? Did you ever feel like you needed to leave or go outside of where you was at to bubble up?
I did feel that need early, but I was broke. So it was like, it wasn't an option, you feel me? So for me, it was like, well, I'm gonna be here. I might as well try to build everything I need while I'm here.
That's amazing to hear. Larussell, while we on you, bro, I know I do not speak for myself when I say the transparency in your process is so inspiring as a fellow creative, bro. Kudos to you for being so open. I wonder what kind of caused you or made you want to document your process so openly?
Cause that shit be happening anyway. You know, it be happening, so it's like, why not? Yeah. And you know, I like to, it's just easier than creating content sometimes, because it's like, if I just live and the camera's on and a moment happens organically, then I never have to sit and have these long marketing conversations of what I need to do. Is like, no, something dope happened naturally, let's share that. And people connect with that more. So for us, it was just like it was a no-brainer because it was already happening.
Yeah, it's like, as a creative, sometimes it feels like when you're creating content for the purpose of creating content, you fail. It's a bunch of like failures, but then you catch on and you
It starts feeling
fail.
like a job,
Yeah.
and most people hate their job. Like
Yeah.
eventually, no matter, even if you're doing something you love, like when you do it a certain way for so long, you're gonna grow this disdain towards it. So you
Yeah.
really have to figure out how to monetize your living. You know, the things that you do every day, if you could figure out how to monetize that and just show it, it's far easier.
Yeah. Going back to the, I'm sorry,
My bad.
brother.
How long would you say, you know, the average, like how long did it take you from going from like, you know, making nothing on your craft and your passion to like getting where you're at now? Like how long was that process? Like for people that think that it just happens like this, or see something that happens maybe overnight to them where they don't know the full backstory, I guess you can maybe explain a little bit of like how important it is to know that things don't happen overnight.
Man, things happen as fast as you make them happen. And that's something I had to learn. Like early on, I used to be reaching out to niggas and they wouldn't respond or nothing. And I felt the way, but it was because I didn't earn it. I didn't do the work that it takes to get that kind of check, right? But I wanted a specific kind of check I wasn't working for yet. So that process is based on you. Like if your goal is 10,000 shots, if you go outside every day and shoot 1,000, you're gonna get there faster than a nigga who go out and shoot 10, you know? So once I figured out that it was within my own means and it's like nobody in the way, no gatekeeping, I'm on go.
Yeah, that's huge.
L10, you an engineer, only engineer on the stage. A lot of engineers here.
I'm an engineer too.
I'm an engineer too.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Yeah.
How dare you?
Did you research FL Studios?
I do my research. I feel like I've learned a thing or two from you, but that is another conversation for another day. I do want to know, hey, I'd be remiss to not ask, what are some of the new tools that you're really rocking with that you've been using?
Some new tools?
New tools, old tools, gold tools.
Dang, that's a
You want the secrets?
You want
Some of the sauce.
the sauce? Honestly, I don't really have any. It's really just like, It's really just being more aware of like what's given to you at the end of the day. I think a lot of my tools just come from like repetition and how much I work. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm at the best point in my career because I'm able to literally objectively call certain things. Okay, this is wrong with the mix right here. You know what I mean? Like this should be moved like this. This should be moving like this. I should feel more of a tone in this snare or drums or whatever the instrument is, and really execute. You know what I mean? I think really the tools is just like learning your plugins, learning your toolbox. Like I didn't go to college for engineering. You know, this is all self-taught, and Chris Classic showed me the ropes on everything. You know what I mean? So it's really from the jump. You know what I mean? Like you just do. You learn by doing. You know what I mean? I'm still learning in that aspect. You know, and yeah, I think that's really it. Just trying new plugins and things like that. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Gotcha, man.
I wanted to ask Smino, did you say you engineer too? You ever recorded yourself?
For sure. Today.
Yeah, okay, like and I know. So I want to hear you. You said today you did. Like you do it every day. Yeah, so like for you and Larussell, I want to like, what's that process and how important do y'all think it is for y'all to like learn how to do the recording and engineering yourself? Like how much of it do y'all really need to know and how much do you know?
My man just said it. Like, imagine having to wait on a nigga come set up the whole studio every day. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how much more shots you could put up than the person that just gotta wait to L10. Now I could just let him be a mixing engineer, which he really fired too. He great in the studio. I love working with him, but you know what I'm saying? It's such a more smooth process when we got this conveyor belt. And also, bro, like you can't really know your sound if you don't know your sound, bro. Like you gotta know that shit. Like, you feel me? I sat in the studio with Ali. He mixed the album, 2 albums for me that ain't come out. They gonna come out though. One of them this year. On me, I ain't playing, bro. But I sat in the studio and he taught me one of my favorite plugins that I ever like. I should use that to this day. You feel me?
What is it?
And then like from there, I don't know. It's his tricks. I don't wanna. I mean, shit. This your shit.
It's a bunch of audio nerds in here.
I mean,
no,
no, real talk, just the black box plug-in, bro. Like, the black box plug-in, that's my shit. But outside of that, I was in the studio and I was using Echo Boy, and I did something random in Echo Boy. He was like, I ain't never even seen it. So I was just like, bro, this man a Grammy-winning ass engineer, and I'm just a rapper that record myself. So you can always learn something from anybody, like with this engineering shit. It's different. Oh yeah, he threw me a birthday party, man. That boy put Let's just say we had a good time, man. Yeah, we was in there mixing.
How
Right.
Larussell, tell me about your process on like recording yourself, like mixing yourself. Like what
Man, exactly what he said. I don't want to wait on nobody at all, ever. You know, I just don't enjoy that part of the process. And like, when I record songs, I want to listen to them right after, and I want them to sound a certain way. So for me, it was just like, and it's just from that being deprived. When you don't have no option, you have to learn everything. Otherwise, you're not gonna get nothing done.
Absolutely.
And like when the mood strikes, you're ready. You're ready to
You gotta
go.
be able to go.
And when you are working with another engineer, how important do you think, and how much more efficiently do you think that you work because you know the lingo?
It changes everything. When you're able to communicate
Right.
in engineer lingo
Yeah.
and you know what things mean, it changes everything. Because otherwise, you sitting there telling a nigga like, take out the little the thingy right there, and it's like that shit is difficult. But when you know the lingo and you've done it, you know how you want certain things, and you know when you get something back, if it's like, nah, cause I could do it that way. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's extremely important, and
Speeds
you
the
get
process
to.
up.
That collaboration, like you said, you get with somebody else who use a certain type of plugins and you use these ones and y'all exchange tips, and now you got a way better mix than either of y'all could have got alone.
Absolutely. Man, Larussell, I think it's fair to say that not only from the success stories of the platform even, but just the success stories of the releases on there, that the pay what you want model is the future to some extent. So I wanted to know, what would you have to say to anyone that's still on the fence of even trying such a thing?
Stay broke. I mean, you know, it's like, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's like, you make this music, and generally, it generates no money on your hard drive, or you put it to streaming, and it generates minute money. So it's like, we're just saying in the middle of that process, just go straight to the people who love you and let them pay whatever, because when they get to Spotify, it's gonna be a fraction of a cent. So it's like if somebody give you $1 today and you get to cash out and reinvest that $1 versus waiting a quarter to get a fraction of a cent, you know, to me it just makes the most sense in the world. You know, that shit is the basics. That's how niggas started. It's like you make your tapes and you sell them. That shit have never went away. That shit have never stopped.
I love it, man. And I love how you give us a volume of work, man. And I want to know, how do you manage that? I know it's a lot of music, but I know you have a team. I would love for you to talk about that.
Man, we just go. I really move. That's why it's been difficult to get with a label, you know, because they always want like this plan, this rolled out plan, and this need to be this way. And I get it, but for me to feel free as an artist, I gotta be able to go. When I make shit I love, I'm ready to go. Like, me and Hit Boy just did a project like 2 weeks ago, and it's finna come out, because it's like, we don't have to wait on that shit. You know, when you ready to go. If it's hella stifling as an artist when you got something you love, and somebody in the way of you sharing that.
Yeah. Yo, my question is, do you think that kind of proud to pay format will work for other industries? Like if you're an engineer or a producer, like what's your advice for
My engineer does proud to pay mixes, offer based, and it's not just proud to. So proud to pay is one form, but we do offer based. Like we scaled up to offer based, and my engineer does offer based mixes, and I think it's the way because it opens a door. You don't know how much you'll get. Somebody might really, really value what you do, and they're like, I give you $5,000. I've been paid amounts for things that I never thought somebody would give me because I gave them the ability to.
Yeah, I feel that the same way. Like the highest I ever got paid for a mix is because I was just like, bro, just send whatever you want. And literally,
people innately want to do right by you when you do right by them. You feel me? Like nobody want to go to sleep with that feeling like, damn, I kind of play, like that shit plague you. So when you open that door and you build a different kind of networking community, when you open that kind of door, like I'm somebody, I overpay for damn near everything unless you tell me a price. Like if you like this the price and I'm like, I don't know if I agree with it, I probably won't do it. But if you would have just let me say that you do whatever, I would have gave you that because I get that choice.
Yeah, and I feel like as creatives or entrepreneurs, sometimes we don't even know our value, right? Because you setting the value, you might be setting your value too low, and you might be setting your value too high. But like when you give people that offer base and you kind of see what the market is offering you, then you kind of can see your value a little bit.
You don't really have to know what you're worth. You just have to know what you're not worth. Yeah. And that handles all the issues on the latter end of it.
By that you mean like know the minimum, like you look, I ain't taking nothing less than
right.
that.
You know what doesn't feel good to you.
Yes.
You feel me? If somebody come and slap you, that shit don't feel good, right? And you can set your bar there. I don't want to be treated like that as an artist. But there's no limit to the love that you can give me. But it is a limit to, how much you can play with me, and it should be that way.
I feel that 100%.
Man, yo, Smee, your work with Monty is insane. I would love to know how y'all process work. Is it always you all in the studio? Does he send you a loop and maybe add to it afterwards?
I mean, it just depends. We used to spend a whole lot of time together just making actual songs in the studio and shit, but then we start working. And then he'll have other stuff to do and I'll have other shit to do. So I guess when you build a chemistry with somebody up enough, you kind of know the formulas and the recipes. It ain't really no formula to how we work either. It's just shit, it all depends. Like right now, we got a project. I just played it for Jeff in the car. We got a project right now that we just made this year. But we only made 3 of the songs in the room. He just gave me some beats and I went home and it was the right beats. Monty the person that sends 1 or 2 beats and you gonna want both of them. You don't need 10, 20 beats from him. He gonna send you the right 1 or 2 beats. You feel me? Type shit. So, yeah, bro, that nigga just know me, man.
Yeah. L10, my question for you, being a self-taught engineer, how do you keep your sword sharp? How do you keep on digging and getting better and better? But I know you're around creative folks all the time, bring you ideas, but what kind of keep pushing you?
The real answer to that is my team. The answer to that, the sauce question too. My assistants, Rob and Daniel, they be doing a lot of research and things like that. They're keeping me sharp. I have a responsibility as well to be on my toes, you know what I mean? So we keep pushing each other and just being around people that hold you accountable and things like that. Sword sharpens sword. Is that the quote?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, there you go. Iron sharpens. Yeah, that quote. And we kind of apply that to our trio here of me, Smino and Monty as well, you know what I mean? We keep pushing each other and we as a team, as a squad, we wanna win together. That's always been the goal.
Gang shit.
Here he is.
Give me some, man.
Oh my gosh.
I see you doing a lot of hybrid, with the analog and digital. Do you think that's crucial to getting that polished professional sound, or can people achieve a lot without it, in the box?
Yeah. So for me, I personally like the analog sound. It gives you a bit more detail and all that thing, all those things, more depth, more width. Your low end is really low end. But that's for me. However, I've been able to achieve that too in the box. I was just trying shit one time and just mixed the whole song in 96K, 32-bit.
Yeah.
It's
is
crazy.
that the secret, having the highest sample rate?
That,
you rocking with the 96K too, Ali?
The 96K is crazy. Just way more dynamic range and things like that. And what when it comes down to like mastering and all that thing, all those things too, is like, when you do down sample to your 44 16s and 48 24s or whatever, it still has all that, but it's like kind of cut off or whatever. But like there's also a sound to that as well. Sometimes I prefer the down sample of 48 24 or whatever coming from 96K. Yeah.
Okay, I feel that.
Do you feel like an artist out there, and I guess this is for Smino too, like, do you feel like an artist out there should find an engineer that they lock in with, that they should have working on every song with them?
Yeah, for sure. It's like at some point you gotta get it mixed. Like you don't want to be the first and last person to hear the shit. You feel me? But also it's like, you know what I'm saying, that same engineer should be like the person that just understands your sound and your everything, not just. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always want to find, like, one person if you can, like, lean on one person. You feel me?
That gives you honest advice.
Yeah.
And if I could jump in, that's like the most important thing. Like, the relationship between, you, L10, even Monty punk ass ain't show up. Monty, I'm on your head, you punk motherfucker. But that relationship is important. Like, I've always said for years, like, the relationship between the creatives around you is like a group of homies going on a road trip, right? The artists know where they want to go, but it's up to the creatives to take them there. So it's getting people to understand. A lot of the artists don't understand the vernacular, right? They don't understand the terminology, but they understand, make that sound gray, make it sound dark, right? And that relationship that you build with the artist that you're working with as a creative, that synergy is unmatched. It's
huge.
Like look at the Guru and Jays, the 40 and Drake, right? The L10 and Smino. Those relationships,
Ali and Kendrick.
I was trying to stay away from that.
Nah, I see it, bro. Come on.
Can't stay away from that.
But it's important, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, like when you have that person, that creative that's, just focused on just taking you as an artist to the next level, right? That's something that's invaluable. A lot of engineers come to me like, Ali, how did you do this? How did you do that? I started by being a resource. I started by being somebody that an artist can depend on. I started on being somebody who was there before the artist got to the studio and was there after the last person left the studio, and that's when I was able to set my rate, if that made sense to you guys. So it's like the relationship between the creator. There's this dynamic triangle of creativity, right? The artist is always gonna sit on top. Then you got the producer and the engineer, right? It's a trifecta. When you have that, that's when things start to change, right? Because you now have been locked in this synergy. The momentum is now being created,
Absolutely.
Sorry for just jumping in like this, you guys.
No. It's not like it's not
great.
It's not like it's not your room. But hey, I think that was a beautiful way to end it, man. Are we good? Are we good, guys?
Yeah, I'm straight.
Perfect.
They gonna do questions?
Whoa. We done? We not done. We got
Harder than me. I'm
Bro, say I just got here.
I saw the light come on. It kind of triggered me.
No. Fuck them. They gonna wait for us.
Word. I love it.
I think we should get into some.
No, we fuck with y'all now.
No. They know we love them. We know.
Say, I fuss with Jay-Z.
Period. But one thing I want to just talk about, if you don't mind, Smee. One thing that I've been a fan. We boys outside the music, but from the perspective of the creativity, what I've always been a fan of that kept me kind of inspired was just the textures of your records, right? The reason why Monty, L10, and Smino wanted really that, that trifecta of creativity is like the achievement of that texture, right? With the stacks and the drunken patterns of flows, and you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you listen? And this is just me just drunk off the Taquan. You know
Kill O'Neal.
But like from that perspective, like how do you go into a session with the understanding that that's the mission at the end of the day, right? Hearing the Monty, you all know Monty Booker production, right?
Absolutely.
So like the swing of the drums, right? The way that he sequences and put these tracks together. How do you hear that and be like, oh, okay, say less, hold my beer? Like, how do you do that?
Shit, I ultimately like, I look at shit like, bro, honestly, I'm gonna say some real shit. I knew this before I knew this, but Terrence Martin put it into like perspective and taught me how to articulate it, basically. Anytime Monty's getting busy on the beat and there's a lot going on, I give him more space. Anytime I got more space, I get busy. And that's just really how I think about shit, even with the textures and all that shit, right? You know Monty beats, like, it'll be some shit you don't hear, like, but when you get the solo and shit, you like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
baby screaming
it's
in
a
the
baby,
back.
yeah, like a whole lot of shit going on. Somebody getting kidnapped, a lot of shit. So it's like, after all that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, let me be in the pocket so people can hear all these damn sounds that this nigga doing, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, and then I'm ultimately like just kind of like that. I just like textures. I grew up in church. So like if you hear a whole choir, it's like 30 voices, right? They all sound different. So when I record a stack, I try to switch my voice each tone. Like I do two this tone, two that tone, two like a baby. You feel me? And then just go from there. But that's really how I be so textured. You know what I mean?
I was just talking last night about how like it's the space in the music a lot of times, not just like everything that's happening keep constantly happening, but those pockets, those relief spaces and the contrast that really just make it what it is. Like, you know, even with you, Larussell, like your music, it got a lot of space in it. Like you allow the music to breathe. Like, is that intentional when you jumping on the mic? Or is that just your
It's exactly what you said. Like breathing. That's the best way to put it. Like everybody gotta breathe. And that same thing exists when the records like that. Man, that space really sets the tone.
Absolutely. L10, even with those examples, when you get the unorthodox production, not only vocally from Smino, but musically from Monty, do you play a heavy hand when you mix it, or do you does it come like already crazy with all those weird ideas?
It definitely does already come with that, but I definitely take it to the next level as well. Like, I know these guys for a really long time now, you know what I mean? Like, we all used to live together and shit like that, so some of those beats that Monty was making, like, I was literally laying in bed trying to go to sleep, but I'm bobbing my head like, damn, he on one, another one. But, shoot, even before that, like, me and Smee, we used to, you know, be in the studio breaking down records on, you know, things that we was a fan of, you know what I mean? Like, we were just talking on the car ride here and shit like that. It's like, studying records is such a vital thing to our upbringing and things like that. Like, yo, this, you know, the way this bridge come in right here, blah, 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 you know, the way he did this or that, you know, on this part of the song, like, we was doing that shit, you know what I mean? And we took it and flipped it, you know, in our own interpretation and things like that. And so we, as a trio, have designed a language between us that only we understand, you know what I mean? That's, you know, with what Ali was saying, is that synergy. You know, Monty's textures, I know what Monty studies. It's some crazy shit. You feel me? So I understand his syncopation with his drums and stuff. And Smee has a background in drumming, so I know his pockets. I remember for Love for Rent, we was my assistants try to help with the interpolation of like his lyrics and shit. I'm looking over, I'm like, dog, that's so wrong. That's because I know his vernacular. I know how Smee speaks. Like, this makes sense. You know, he didn't say this word, he said this word because it ties the bars together. You know what I mean? Like, these are people that I locked in with, and that's, you know, going back to the whole, like, the people around you thing, you know, it's important to keep the people that inspire you around you and keep pushing, you know, build your community and shit.
Absolutely.
Man, we need a Smino glossary. You know what I'm saying? We
Hey,
need
hey,
that.
no, it's
For
coming
sure.
out. It's coming out real soon.
We need that.
That's
glasses.
great merch.
It's coming out. I got a whole
Yeah.
dictionary.
Yeah.
It's called Saint Lingo.
When I seen this nigga say Lincoln bio, but he spelled Lincoln like Lincoln, I'm like, oh, this nigga's out of his mind. But nah, just to kind of piggyback off what L10 was saying, you know, the studying as an engineer is most vital, right? You know, I feel like now more than ever, creatives and just people in general think they know it all, right? You know, always remain a student of the game, right? That's how you stay ahead of the curve, is never think you know everything. You know, I think that's like me personally, what kind of, you know, got me on a trajectory of always just being able to move forward is being able to look at the past, you know, and, you know, going back, you know, you sparked a memory of mine, L10, when, you know, we was doing, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly, right? You know, I coming off a Good Kid, Mad City, you know, again, self-taught engineer, you know, cracked plugins, you know, stolen equipment from Craigslist, all of that, you know, and, you know, when I go into the Pimp a Butterfly, I'm now recording, you know, full upright basses, right? You know, live violins, live strings, right? And it, you know, it took me going back to listen to the Abbey Road, to, you know, the Mo Better Blues soundtrack, to, you know, people that, you know, had these heavy, that, you know, George Clinton and the parliaments, you know, how they were able to pan the drums all the way to the left and right and synths coming from behind you, right? You know, so just on that note, I want to kind of put an emphasis on, you know, all the creatives that are in the building now, always remain a fucking student, right? You know, because as music and technology is merging like never before, things are evolving even faster, right? So it could be one of you individuals here today that could be pioneering a brand new sound that the whole industry will then now be trying to chase, right? So never put yourself in the box and don't create the ceiling over you that's keeping you in that box, right? Continue to, you know, do different shit, you know. But I got a question for Larussell, because, you know, one thing that I've always been admired, you know, about you, your team, and your brand is, you know, staying true to yourself and true to, you know, your mission, right? You know, staying independent. You know, I just congratulated you on you moving into this new warehouse and, you know, you doing the direct-to-consumer sales and, like, you know, what motivated you? You know, I can imagine a lot of artists that might be in the building today are like, I need a deal, I need this, I need that. But in today's time, no, you don't, right? So, like, what's your motivation when it comes to understanding that you are a small business, right? And knowing that, you know, if you, you know, build the stepping stones for you to really monetize off of your art, you could do so. Like, what is your thinking behind that?
Man, I just really like to do whatever I want to do. And it's very hard to do that if you have to rely on somebody else's system. So everything I've done, I've tried to just find a way for me to be able to do it easily, and it worked for me, and that's really been my code. I just run with that. You know, I some days I wake up and I have a crazy ass idea, like doing the offer-based shit, and it's like, let's try it. You know, I usually execute the ideas that I love, I always execute them, and it leads me to wherever it leads me, and then once I get to that point, I can set a new destination. But yeah, I just really like waking up and doing whatever the fuck I want to do, and I never want to have to ask anybody to do that or argue with anybody to do that. I just want to do it.
Yo, both of y'all kind of said something that got me thinking, especially like Ali, when you were saying like you had never recorded like strings before, maybe like live brass, and you've been in those situations. In the studio, do you feel like it was pressure for you to like get it right that first time, or do you feel like you had the leeway to grow and expand, like even though you was like in the middle of something big?
Nigga, hell yeah. I have one of the biggest like imposter syndrome complexes that you can imagine, right? You know, I'm constantly not thinking that I'm, you know, worthy enough, or I'm doing the best that I could be doing or should be doing, right? You know, so with mixing and working on these projects, like even when we was doing Smee shit, you know, the album that didn't come out, you know, I'm fucking with you. We got albums together. But it's like, I'm constantly asking affirmation, like, do you fuck with that? Like, is that cool? And that's not to pick myself up. It's like, nigga, like, I don't know if I'm doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing, right? You know, so it's more of just, you know, to kind of answer the question in a nutshell is I don't know what I'm doing going into it. You know, I'm constantly learning, and I think that is a superpower in itself, right? Is remaining a student of the game and jumping into the unknown, right? You know, because you don't know how that's gonna come out, you know, and whether it's complete a pile of dog shit, right, or it's a Grammy Award winning product. at the end of the day, there's a lesson that's to be learned towards the end of it, right? And you know, if I think a lot of people nowadays are looking for that. I got to keep going back to that instant gratification, right? Is you know, you're never gonna see that, right? The instant gratification is knowing that you did your best. You know, and it sounds fucking cliche, right, to say that. Oh, you get a trophy for doing your best. Let me give you a ribbon. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, well, what we do with music, right? I feel like we've been handed this set of rules that, you know, that have been put upon us that don't make fucking sense, right? From all aspects, creatively, business-wise. Just go out there and start. Go out there, start something, and you're gonna learn, right? You, at least the next time you have a session, you're gonna know what not to do, right? Or, you know, so on. So
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because a lot of folks try to act like they got it all figured out, man. And it's important for us to know that we don't always got it all figured out, like, you know, so you don't have to, but what you gotta do is start. You just gotta keep doing and keep doing. Try, if something don't work, tweak it and try something else.
Keep learning.
Stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone up here, you know, I've been a fan of for years. You know, I've built personal relationships with, and you know, just seeing the growth, you know, from where I started following these individuals to where they are now. It's the same formula. It's fucking consistency, right? You know, it's fucking consistency. Larussell, right? At its core, you know. There were times when I couldn't open Instagram without seeing this nigga. you know what am I wrong?
Those times still exist.
Like that, like those times still exist, right? But it's like there's this thing that I talk about, even with what I'm doing, right, with Engineears, with everyone is doing Zero Fatigue, right? Audio Nerds, Dial Wave, like all these things. There's this thing. First, they're gonna laugh at you, and then they're gonna support you, right? So staying consistent with what you're doing, right? No matter what the outside perspective is or the outside notion is, right? And that's all you can do, you know. And you know,
it's easy to feel discouraged when you're just being consistent, but it feels like the growth dips, or you catch one and then the next one doesn't, and things like that. But I can honestly say, for me, and I'm sure for everyone on the stage, that consistency. Look at it like a graph, right? When you look at a graph short term, whether it's stocks or anything, you're gonna see all these peaks, valleys, maybe a crazy dip. But when you open it up to 3 years, 10 years, whatever, that steady growth is what you're looking for. And it doesn't seem like that in the moment, but when you look back, and I realized that 3 years ago, my first NAMM, I was in the back trying to get a question from Ali.
I was not fucking with you.
Come on. Come on. Where you at now?
Yeah,
Come on.
This nigga for sure got a knife in his pocket. Nah, I'm fucking with you, man. Man, real quick before we kind of just open it up for a few little questions. Like, what are y'all working on? You know, obviously, Larussell, Smino, both of y'all incredibly talented artists. You know, is there something that you could share with the crowd? Is there something that you guys are excited about? You know, talk to me.
Man, everything. I'm working on hella shit. We just did the project with Hit Boy. I got some shit with Lex Luger, Tote, Mike G. It's a whole it's a whole bunch of shit coming this year. We just built our second venue at home in the V. So we doing more residency shows. The Backyard start back in April. You know, nigga, just the pergola, come on.
Anybody from the Bay? Anybody raise your hand from the Bay? Hey, let people know how to come, you know, come see a live performance or a rehearsal.
Come on, we got our own ticketing site called What's TBA. It's black owned. It's some shit we created where you could buy tickets offer base. It's a new system. We'd love to support, and come down, come to the Backyard. It's a party. It's a boogie.
I love it. Smee Dog, what's happening? What you would talk to me?
That nigga named Larussell. I like that, bro. I really fuck with it. I want to chop it up with you more. But now, shit, for me, bro, hella shit, same what bro just said, bro, a whole bunch of things. You know how much music I have right now. Like, you don't. You know how much music I had at that point. So imagine now we've just been like, you know, staying consistent with that. Whole bunch of new ventures. I went independent and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just really started to, appreciate it. I just started the Zero Fatigue Records Incorporated, you know what I'm saying? Official shit started, doing a new deal, new distro, new company, new friends type shit.
New friends. What's up with the hoodies with the silk on the inside?
Oh yeah, you know, these are silk pillows, man. It's one of my inventions. I put silk inside the hood for black people, you know what I'm saying? So y'all can go to sleep on the plane. Or whoever got big hair, you can get it at zerofatigue.com, but not right now, they be sold out. But
make sure y'all tap in with Smino on his live show, man. My man put on one hell of a show.
Yeah. I want to do one with you, bro. Man,
come to the Backyard.
Yeah, I got to come forward with you.
Oh, we just made it official.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I need a ticket, nigga. I need a ticket. Where we at?
Come on.
Man, but real quick, man, we got to shut it down. Like, again, you know, everyone on the stage, you know, Smino, you already know, L10, you already know all my guys up here that's killing it, man. I want to appreciate you guys for sharing this wealth. You know, it's viral. You know, last year, you know, we had some great conversation that went up, but it shows you and attests to, you know, what we're doing here. You know, so I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. You know, thank you for the support. Thank you for constantly, you know, coming through for us. And yeah, man.
I like to add and extend that gratitude to you because last year I remember we was out on the floor and it was dope. And it's like to have your own room with this big ass screen and shit, like that's from work. Even when the inception of Engineers, like when I first found it, I didn't even know it was yours. And it was like, bro, this shit is incredible. And to see where it's become, like this is you cultivated community as an engineer, like,
yeah, on God.
bro, for a long time.
And how many of y'all are on Engineers? How many of y'all got profiles on Engineers? You know what I'm saying? You know, what y'all think about it? Y'all fuck with it? Make some noise.
Come on.
Word.
I end up so my master engineer, Dep and D from $1 Million Snares, like Engineers made that lineup, made that play happen.
You know, black owned at its core. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? You know, I'm in Silicon Valley. You know, fuck with your boy. You know, I'm pouring tequila on venture capitalists. You know, I want everybody in this motherfucker to clap it up for everyone on the stage.
Now clap it up for Ali Engineers right now. On your feet.
Word. And guess what? My nigga Hand Dog, where you at? My nigga Henny. And also, look, hey, go to engineers.com and go and make you a profile. You know, we're going to be in contact. You know, holla at your guala.